47 years, Joe.
President Trump and Joe Biden debating for the first time the election itself, a big issue.
This is going to be a fraud like you've never seen.
He's just afraid of counting the votes.
You're wrong.
They argued and interrupted each other for about 90 minutes. At one point, Joe Biden told President Trump to shut up. The economy, the coronavirus, also big issues. Fox's Gernal Scott.
President Trump says even during the pandemic, the restart of the economy must begin now. And he says millions are back at work on his watch.
That's a record the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. And he wants to close down he will shut it down again. He will destroy this country.
But former Vice President Joe Biden urges prudence and says the president should put people's lives first.
You can't fix the economy until you fix the COVID crisis.
And this generated a lot of attention. Moderator Chris Wallace pressing the president on whether he would condemn white nationalism.
What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name.
supremacists and
white like me to condemn?
Proud supremacists and right
Proud Boys. Stand back and stand by.
Chief is an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia.
Now, the FBI director the president fired 3 years ago will be questioned this morning at the Senate. Fox's Rachel Sutherland has this live.
Dave, James Comey will testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee investigating Operation Crossfire Hurricane, which explored alleged ties between the Trump campaign and Russia. The former FBI director's appearance comes a day after the director of national intelligence, John Ratcliffe, released an intelligence assessment that Hillary Clinton approved an effort to stir up scandal by trying to connect then-candidate to the Russian hacking of the Democratic National Committee. Ratcliffe noted that the intelligence community does not know the accuracy of the allegation. Dave?
America's listening to Fox News.
The big media are afraid of David Horowitz's new book, Blitz. But Donald Trump Jr. says bypass them and get Blitz, now a runaway New York Times bestseller. Mike Huckabee, Mark Levin, and Rudy Giuliani all say you should get it. Blitz says Trump has a big surprise coming soon. Get Blitz at bookstores or check out the free offer for Blitz and save $28. Just call 800-NEWSMAX, 800-NEWSMAX, or go to blitz411.com, blitz411.com. Get Blitz today.
Attention SSI and other federal benefit recipients. If you did not file a tax return last year and have children under 17, you must act now to get the $500 economic impact payment per child this year. You must provide the IRS your child's information by September 30th. Go to irs.gov and use the non-filer tool by September 30th. That's irs.gov. This message produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Well, the day after the first debate, President Trump will go to a state he's hoping to flip red, Minnesota. Joe Biden will campaign in 2 states he's trying to turn blue.
Joe and Dr. Jill Biden board a train in Cleveland today, dubbed the Build Back Better Express, across eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania, according to the campaign, highlighting how Joe Biden will build our economy back better for working families. The former vice president looks to make ground in Trump country, with stops in Stark County, Ohio, and 3 stops in Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania, ending with a drive-in event in Johnstown and Cambria County, PA, 3 blue-collar counties that went for President Trump in 2016. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett will go to the Capitol again today, meeting more senators.
The dean of the Notre Dame Law School says she is, quote, an absolutely brilliant legal scholar.
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, at least 6 Democrats, won't meet with Barrett. They want the winner of the election to get to make the pick next year. She made a statement in the 1970s.
I am woman, hear me roll.
That won Helen Reddy a Grammy, one of her 3 #1 hits. Reddy has died at the age of 78. Mac Davis was the same age.
Mac Davis wrote and sang his own hits, breaking through to #1 on the American pop charts with this song in 1972. But the beloved singer-songwriter is better known for writing hits for performers including Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, and Elvis.
On a cold and gray Chicago morning, a poor little baby child is born in the ghetto.
Davis became a member of the Songwriters Hall of Fame, had his own variety TV show, and acted in films and performed on Broadway. He was 78. Carmen Roberts, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures down nearly 200 for the Dow. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Well, good Wednesday morning, ESPN 93.5 with your weather now brought to you by Watts Copy Systems. Have you recently reviewed your business technology needs to make sure they are right fit and competitively priced, that your service partner is there when you call. What's Copy? Call them today, 352-0428. Diane Ducey, good morning.
Morning, Stevie. Partly cloudy conditions. Windy today. Gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. We've got a high 70 expected, though, and 44 our low into the evening tonight. Cooler tomorrow as we start October with a high 62, low 39. Only up to 58 on Friday as we wrap up the week with partly cloudy conditions. 20% chance of showers coming into Saturday. Right now, the temperature's at 51 on ESPN 93.5.
Okay, I don't know what I got out of last night. I really can't tell you.
Other than we got a bunch of rude people for our head office.
Kind of a headache after it was all over.
I did too. Really hard not to tune out.
Well, it was hard to watch. Debate number one in the books. Some people calling for Joe Biden not to even go to the next one. Just don't even acknowledge that. President very bullish, interrupted a lot.
Yes.
But it was MMA? I don't think it was boxing. Boxing's a little more civilized. That was just rough.
Right.
Rough to watch. Didn't change a mind in America. Not one.
Shoot.
Okay. We're going to have a lot of discussion on this as we go here this morning. Brother Johnny and Eddie Martin, our friend Ed Martin, the president of the Eagle Forum Education Legal Defense Fund, will get their take coming up at the bottom of the hour. I got to call in to Cleveland, Ohio, our friend Griff Jenkins, Fox News Television, who's in Cleveland on the ground. We'll get what he saw last night as well. If you did watch the debate, you can comment, 359-2255. You can Facebook message us as well. As we are live on Facebook, we're also on the YouTube channel. You can podcast us at steviejay.com. You can do that as well after the program. Happy to welcome back the editor-in-chief of the New York Analysis of Policy and Government, served in both Republican and Democratic administrations on state and local levels. His name, Frank V. Vernuccio, Jr. How are you, Frank?
Stevie Jay, it's great to be with you again.
It is great to have you back. I had a headache.
As did a good percentage of the country. Look, as debaters both lost, I thought, neither was particularly responsive to the questions and neither emphasized their own accomplishments. I thought Biden gained some points by showing that he had the stamina to last an hour and a half, but he lost also by failing to give any specifics about what he's about other than the fact that he doesn't like Donald Trump.
Would you shut up, man?
Listen,
Keep yapping, man.
That's about what I got, okay? It was just on and on, over and over, pounding each other. Frank, does this illustrate, though, where we are in America?
To an extent, but also there was a problem with the format of the debate itself. Neither candidate was allowed to give an opening or a closing statement. Because of the lack of that in the debate format, both were confined to a question and answer period that they both felt they could ignore, and in fact probably had to ignore to get any of their points across. This was set up more as a prize-fighting boxing match rather than a way of probing into the mind of two men who want to occupy the White House.
Is Antifa a theory?
No, I thought that was the lowest point of the entire night for either candidate. Biden made a statement that I think must have raised every eyebrow in the country. Clearly, Antifa is not a theory. It is a reality. It is a dangerous threat to the continued democracy of our nation. And for Joe Biden to say that it was not a real organization, you have to wonder about what he was thinking, or was he thinking at all?
Should the president have condemned the Proud Boys more?
You know, it's a fascinating question. I think what was in the president's mind is that the reality of it is that 98% of all extreme moves in the country comes from the hard left. Perhaps 2%, if even that, comes from the right. The president has been trying to make the point that the myth that somehow there's a white supremacy movement that's threatening the future of the country or race relations is why he decided not to condemn them. Not that he doesn't believe that white supremacy is bad, but that there is a myth that this is somehow a huge movement. all you have to do is take a look at the cities burning from East Coast to West Coast, and you know that it's the left wing that's causing the problem, not any mythical group on the right, which is probably so small it's inconsequential.
Do you think Joe Biden hurt himself by saying, I don't believe in the Green New Deal?
You know, I think he did with his own base. Look, part of the problem with Joe Biden has been that no one knows where to peg him at. He seems to be kind of like a piece of driftwood on the ocean. Whatever the Democratic Party leadership wants him to do, he does. He's trying to portray himself as being not as extreme as the rest of the Democratic Party has become. But when he does that, he also kind of looks, well, to quote Charlie Brown, just wishy-washy.
Do you think it was a fair question for Donald Trump to say, Joe, will you pack the court? Will you end the filibuster? Why can't he answer that?
Yeah, it was a very fair question. When you have someone like Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, and arguably the most powerful Democrat in the country, arguing to pack the court, certainly the president was compelled, I believe, to ask that specific question, and Joe was compelled, I think, to answer it.
But he didn't. Will he?
But he did not.
Moving forward, will he? Will he list any nominees? Will he do any of that, do you think?
He's in a really tough spot because the strength of the Democratic Party right now in terms of enthusiastic support is from the hard left. But that's not where the majority of the country is and the majority of the voters that Joe Biden has to persuade. So he's going to try to avoid that issue like the plague for as long as he possibly can get away with it.
Why didn't he come out and just say, my next Supreme Court nominee will be Michelle Obama?
Probably because it would have turned off so many people throughout the country. It's the same thing as with so many other issues with Joe Biden. He simply can't appeal to the center of the country without alienating his hard left base and vice versa.
Well, he made it 96 minutes or whatever it was with that debate last night. I knew we were underestimating the fact that Joe Biden wasn't going to do this. The guy's been there for so long. I thought he did fine from the standpoint of stamina. There's a couple of moments I thought he almost lost his temper. He kind of did. I mean, some of the verbiage that Joe Biden threw at, and Joe Biden's the one that said this isn't presidential. Well, I don't remember, and maybe you can correct me on this, Frank Vernuccio, but fool, clown, liar, shut up, keep yapping, he blew it, clown, worst president in history. Those are pretty steep when it comes to these things.
Yeah, it certainly is, and the language is totally inappropriate. You can argue that the president was overbearing, and you can also argue that Joe Biden had no respect for the office of the presidency. I think both tended to turn off the undecided voter. So neither of them made any real points with the group that they still have to persuade to go along with their candidacy.
Will there be another debate? I mean, some are calling for Joe Biden not to show up.
I think Joe Biden would lose tremendously if he didn't go to the next debate. Look, the president seems to absolutely feed off this type of controversy, so I'm sure he's quite eager to go to the next debate. If Joe Biden decided not to, he would look, quite frankly, cowardly, and that's not really a good quality that the undecided voters are going to look for in their presidential candidate.
Anybody change your mind last night, Frank?
I don't think anyone changed anyone's mind last night. And again, I fault to some extent the setup of the debate, the nature of the debate. If either candidate, if the setup had allowed for an opening and closing statement, that would have been the golden opportunity for either candidate to really reach out to those undecided voters and to change their minds or to win their support. But the debate format was so poorly done, and I thought the questions were not really very well done either, that this was more set up as a hair-pulling, arm-wrestling match rather than as a presidential debate, and I think the country as a whole lost because of that.
Very difficult to know what's true. You can even check the fact checks, and they lean on the New York Times as their source. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. And Joe Biden did say African-American predators on the Senate floor, but he may not have said super predator. The bottom line is Trump. Joe just says it's not true. It's a lie. You're lying again. I mean, what's true, Frank? That's what's so hard.
Yeah, it's absolutely correct. And we're in an era when the media is so biased, we really don't have anything even remotely resembling an unbiased media. And even in the past, when you had newspapers who would take an editorial stance, eventually supporting one candidate or the other, they tended to keep their opinions on the editorial page. Now, when you look at the major media, whether we're talking about TV, whether we're talking about print, or whether we're talking about social media sites, there clearly is a hard left bias on the part of all the above. And that really prevents an open and free discussion of the merits or the demerits of either candidate.
Frank V. Vernuccio, how do people connect with you, my friend?
Well, thanks for asking. I'm at usagovpolicy.com.
Always a pleasure. Fireworks to come. It's going to be, what I heard Joe Concha say this morning, October is going to be a really long decade.
Great being with you, Stevie.
Thank you. Frank V. Vernuccio Jr. out in New York City, ESPN 93.5. Baseball playoffs today. The Cubs and the Cardinals are both playing.
That's right.
Kind of what we wanted. We expect nothing, I'm sorry, from the Cardinals. Padres, I think, are one of the best teams in baseball. They're in San Diego, going to be tough. Cubs should beat Marlins, so there's more expectations, although the Marlins have some fantastic pitching. So we'll see what happens. We've got them both coming up on US 105.9 and ESPN 93.5.
That's right. Today for the Padres and Cardinals at 4, and for the Cubs in Miami at 1. Lucas Giolito took a perfect game into the 7th for the Chicago White Sox to win the first series in the American League Wild Card Series. 4-1 was the final over the Oakland A's. Jose Abreu with a homer. So we'll see Game 2 later on today. NBA action starts tonight with Miami Heat and LA Lakers. Also have some COVID positive tests on the Tennessee Titans team that's throwing things off on the schedule, so we'll learn more about how they're making some adjustments for that. Also trending in the sports world is Novak Djokovic wins and Serena is out with an Achilles injury, not only out of the French Open but all the tournaments through the rest of the year. That's essentially sports. I'm Diane Ducey.
Okay, we'll continue to give you updates, but there's baseball going on about every hour right now.
That's right.
But again, the Cubbies play at 1 in Chicago, Wrigley Field, empty Wrigley Field against the Marlins. And that's at 1 o'clock, and then the Cardinals start at 4 o'clock. Pre-games, obviously, before all of this, 4 o'clock here on ESPN 93.5. Now, if the Cardinals lose today and tomorrow, that's it. It's a best of 3. So if you win today or lose tomorrow, you play the third one, I think, on Friday.
Okay.
And then the same for the Cubs. And then they go to the next division series, which I believe is a best of 5, meaning you have to win 3. But these are just the wild card rounds. And again, Dodgers, I think, are the best team in the National League by a lot. And I'd take probably the Padres second. Atlanta and the Cubbies would be right next for me.
Okay.
Anyway, anything can happen in a short series.
For sure.
These are short series. So it'll be fun to watch, and we will see what happens. Okay, day is Wednesday. This is the last day of September.
It is.
And we're into October tomorrow. We got football coming up in 24 days, something like that.
Woohoo.
We'll be playing at Wisconsin, Illinois football at Wisconsin. And then Halloween afternoon, Purdue Boilermakers are in town.
Right.
We are going to be favored to beat Purdue. It's going to be a long shot against Wisconsin, but look at the long shot last year. What happened, Dre Brown? Come on. That run around the right side, setting up the field goal where our guy kicked it through. And we beat an undefeated Wisconsin team who had number 1 and championship aspirations.
Uh-oh, this could be a grudge match then.
Oh, that was last year. This is now.
Okay.
You just bring your grudges. We'll go for it here. Check your weather. Your friends at Gerber Collision and Glass remind you to wash your hands after returning home from any occasion. They're open and now offer contact-free estimates and repair. Gerber thanks our own essential team members working hard to deliver safe collision repairs to you. Gerber Collision and Glass. Here's your weather.
We've got a high 70, partly cloudy and windy today. Gusts as high as 40 miles per hour out of the west. We've got a low of 44 with partly cloudy conditions to clear into the evening tonight. Partly cloudy with a high 62 tomorrow, down to 39. And on Friday, we're only up to 58, down to 38. 51 now on ESPN 93.5.
Check your Fox Business Minute, brought to you by Starla Car at Provident Financial Group in Champaign, where partnerships are built on trust. Find Starla, Provident Financial Group, LLC.com. Feel free to text in 359-2255. What do you think of the debate? 720.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The data mining company Palantir is launching its stock today on the New York Stock Exchange. The company is a defense contractor and helps large companies to process and understand information. The company is not going public in the traditional way. Instead, it's allowing existing shareholders to sell their stock on the NYSE. Walt Disney shares are slumping. Not only did Disney reveal plans to lay off about 28,000 employees at its theme parks in California and Florida, but the Wall Street Journal says that is on top of Disney delaying its big summer movie Mulan and releasing it on Disney Plus, and ESPN dealing with scaled down sports. After Disney connected its movies with toys, theme park rides, and TV shows, the company now appears more impacted than its rivals to disruptions of the coronavirus. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network, it's the Fox News Rundown, a deeper dive into the major and controversial stories, tapping into the massive reporting resources of Fox News to provide a full picture of the news of the day. You'll hear a contrast of perspectives you won't hear anywhere else, going far beyond the headlines.
You know, I want people to know the truth. Nobody owns me. I'm going to do my job the same way, no matter who I work for.
Subscribe and listen now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands, owner of Lands Inc. Your heating and cooling system works hard for you all year long to keep you and your family comfortable. That's why it's important to have it maintained and serviced regularly. Our techs are ready to help you with all your indoor air quality, humidity, and filtration needs. Visit landsinc.com today for specials on a brand new train system for your home and to see for yourself why it's hard to stop a train. At Lands Inc., our commitment is to you, the customer. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
Hey kids, want to hear a scary story? It was a dark and stormy night, and suddenly, from out of nowhere, a noise. It was a company's hard drive failing after being struck by an IT disaster. Kids, where'd you go?
It might not sound scary, but over 90% of small businesses fail within 2 years after being struck by an IT disaster. Let Area-Wide Technologies in Champaign design a recovery plan for you. Give them a call at 359-8041.
Welcome to Moe's! Life can be a bit frustrating, whether it's a jammed copier, not again! Your dog chewing through your new couch, or your hot water heater going up. But inside Moe's, things are different. You're totally in control as you create your perfect burrito or bowl. With chips and fresh salsa on the house and our famous queso by your side, all is good with the world. So go ahead and make it a Moe's Day.
This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. As independent financial advisors, we can help ensure you're following a strategy that makes sense no matter what the market is doing. Take control of your financial life with a complimentary consultation. We will create a plan that's right for you. Contact us today at 3017 Village Office Place in Champaign or call us at 217-366-3456 or online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to be back. Was under the weather. I am better. I even took a COVID test.
Okay.
Went to Carl drive-through on Mattis.
Okay.
Very efficient. Got my results in 12 hours.
That's right.
And easy. And good going to Carl. Very impressive.
Yeah, the one over by Marketplace Mall, I think you have to wait 24 to 48 hours for results at least.
Yeah, so that's what I understood. So I wanted to find out quicker. And
yes.
I'm fine. I was just a little under the weather. I'm good. Never had a fever, so I'm good. But in this day and age, it's like,
as soon as something happens, you get worried.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see.
Some comments coming in on Facebook.
What you got?
Well, like Jack had said, here's where Biden didn't win. He wouldn't commit on several of the questions because he didn't want to take a stand and lose votes. I'm sorry, but when you are president in a few months, you need to take a stance. Trump obviously had no problem answering. I didn't like his bullish style when you get no respect for your entire presidency and then you come out punching and give no respect. That's just my opinion.
Donna says, in my opinion, President Trump has to come out with his dukes up, no matter what the Dems are blaming everything on Trump. The forest fires, the destruction, the deaths across the country, and the coronavirus, everything wrong is Trump's fault. Totally accurate. Everything wrong is Trump's fault. Joe Biden thought it was xenophobic to close China when Donald Trump very early on said no flights in from China. He called it xenophobic and bigoted and racist and all these other things.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they're trying to say all these people died because of Trump, which to me doesn't really fit that. I mean, the president said didn't want to panic everybody. You don't want a president to come out and say, everybody get in the bunker. People freak out.
Sure.
And so they say, well, he was irresponsible. Everybody died. It wouldn't have to be that way. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know how you blame this on Donald Trump, and it very well could be there'd be a lot more dead had he not shut off the country. So I think that's tough. I don't think Joe Biden will ever come out and say we're going to pack the court, even though every major person in his party says they will. That means that if they do confirm Amy Coney Barrett, and it looks like they're going to be able to get that done, then when they win the Senate and the White House, they're going to bring 4 more Supreme Court judges, make it 13, and pack them with 4 liberals so they have the majority.
Okay.
And then when they come back and the Republicans can, they'll add 4 more, we'll have 17. I mean, for 150 years, 9 has worked pretty well.
Uh-huh.
And so it's fair to ask the vice president, are you planning to do this?
I see.
And so he's not going to say it because the far left will just freak. The fact that he said, I don't believe in the Green New Deal. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez came out today and said, well, we have our differences. She knows it's checkmate. You got to go with Joe or you got to go with Donald Trump.
Right.
I think the small business owner I talked to yesterday pretty much summed it up. Can't stand Trump, can't vote for Biden.
Right.
He said they've gone too extreme. That is it in a nutshell. Because the underlying theme is it's going to be much more radical, much further to the left, because that's what's happened in all of these cities. That's what's happened in these democratically controlled cities. And I don't think anybody I know would think it's a good idea to have open borders, no prisons, and no police. And there's some, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says, we're not defunding, we're getting rid of.
Wow. Stephen St. Joe had this kind of, any question that put Biden on the far right, he refused to answer. And that may be because of the far right, or far left liberals that are, supposedly in his camp.
Well, Frank V. Vernuccio just moments ago said 98% of the trouble is on the left, the Antifa. The fact that they didn't acknowledge Antifa. So all those people dressed in black with the backpacks pounding on people on their heads, that doesn't exist? Don't believe your own eyes? It's crazy. They said it's just a theory.
And it's scary because that fuels the fire.
Yeah. It's definitely a thing, and they can deny all they want. So anyway, but what we got out of last night, I don't know.
If Senate Republicans, we were talking originally about the Supreme Court here, if Senate Republicans go ahead and confirm Justice Barrett, there has been talk about ending the filibuster or even packing the court, adding to the 9 justices there. You call this a distraction by the president, but in fact it wasn't brought up by the president. It was brought up by some of your Democratic colleagues in the Congress. So my question to you is, you have refused in the past to talk about it. Are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the court?
Whatever position I take on that, that'll become the issue. The issue is the American people should speak. You should go out and vote. You're in voting now. Vote and let your senators know how strongly you feel. Vote now. Make sure you, in fact, let people know you're a senator. I'm not going to answer the question.
Why would you answer that
because
question?
the question is,
radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
I had a headache. Wow. Why don't you answer the question, yes or no? No, we believe in 9 justices. And yes, I believe we're going to put 4 more on. Tell us. He can't. It'll really turn off anybody near the center and to the right, obviously. I don't even think a lot of Democrats, and again, I don't think Democrats and progressives are the same. I think it's a whole separate deal. All right, we're back in a moment. Ed Martin.
You have repeatedly...
We'll get more coming. Ed Martin, Brother Johnny, coming up.
Circuit Judge Jason Baum believes that all people are created with the same inherent value, worth, and dignity. Judge Baum was recently endorsed by the trades and labor unions in both Decatur and Champaign. In endorsing Judge Baum, they said it is imperative that voters elect judges that are impartial and fair in their decisions. Judge Bomb is the recommended choice this November. Learn more at judgejasonbaum.com.
Paid for by friends of Judge Jason Baum.
If you're looking for a car dealership that is 100% attentive to detail, look no further than Sarah Champagne. Sarah Champagne knows you have high expectations, but they enjoy the challenge of meeting and exceeding those standards each and every time. Sarah Honda, Sarah BMW, Sarah GMC, Sarah Buick, and Sarah Subaru in Savoy, or online, Sarah, S-E-R-R-A, Champagne.com.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The first debate of the presidential campaign had the candidates attacking each other personally, attacking each other's records, and defending their own. Joe Biden says about President Trump's time in office.
Under this president, we become weaker, sicker, poorer, more divided, and more violent.
There has never been an administration or president who has done more than I've done in a period of 3.5 years. And that's despite the impeachment hoax.
There was a lot of interruption and people talking over each other.
Are you in favor of law and order?
I'm in favor of law. You follow it.
Are you in favor of law and order? Go
yes,
ahead.
I'm in favor.
You asked a question, let him finish.
Law and order. Law and order with justice, where people get treated fairly.
The Biden campaign reports its best single fundraising hour ever last night during the end of the debate and right after, nearly $4 million. America's listening to Fox News.
Rural hospitals are vital to Illinois families and our economy. But Betsy Londrigan supports a government takeover of our healthcare system that could force over half of America's rural hospitals to close down. Here in Illinois, we could lose 39 rural hospitals. Betsy Londrigan's liberal healthcare plan would destroy jobs and jeopardize our care, hurting families with pre-existing conditions the most. A Madigan machine politician, liberal Betsy Londrigan would make Washington worse. Congressman Rodney Davis is on our side. Rodney is taking on the big insurance companies and drug companies to protect families with pre-existing conditions and to lower prescription drug prices. And Rodney secured funding for PPE for our healthcare heroes and voted to make coronavirus testing free for every Illinois family. Congressman Rodney Davis fights for us.
I'm Rodney Davis. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Rodney for Congress.
Well, you've done very well in this job interview. I want to know what powers you through the day.
Well, I use a AAA battery as a backup on my alarm clock. Then I turn on my TV for the weather with my AA powered remote. I drove here in my car that has an MT58 Interstate battery. Oh, I forgot about my watch. It has a coin cell battery from Interstate Battery. I once had a fire in my house, and I knew about it because my smoke detector had a 9-volt Interstate battery. So I guess you could say that Interstate Battery powers me. If you need the hookup, go to them in Champaign on Madison.
Wow, you seem charged up for this job. All right, weather brought to you by the College of Aces. Do you want to feed and fuel the world, protect the environment, promote healthy families and children, and do other work that really matters? Are you ready to do big things? Explore the amazing #ACE culture. ACES at the University of Illinois is more than meets the eye. Schedule your virtual visit, aces.illinois.edu/future-students. ACES at the University of Illinois. Here's your weather.
Up to 70 today, 44 our low tonight. Windy with gusts as high as 40 miles per hour this afternoon. Partly cloudy tomorrow with a high 61, low 39. Only up to 57 and down to 37 on Friday. Welcome October.
No.
Fall is here. 52 now on ESPN 93.5.
No, Mr. President, I'm asking you a question. Will you tell us how much you paid in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017?
Millions of dollars.
You paid millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars.
So
yes.
not 750?
Millions of dollars. Will you shut up, man?
Listen, keep yapping, man.
What did I get out of this, Ed Martin? What in the world did I get out of this? Ed Martin has joined us now. He is the president of the Eagle Forum Education Legal Defense Fund. Brother Johnny in the Crescent City, New Orleans, Louisiana. Eddie, what'd you see?
Good morning, boys. Well, look, good morning. Well, look, I don't know if there were anybody changed their vote on this. I think if you were an independent looking up, I think Ann Coulter had the tweet of the night. She said, well, okay, our choice is between old versus obnoxious. I think Biden looked frail. He looked like he couldn't kind of hold up and all. But boy, the president was in sort of pre-presidential. It's almost jarring to see the guy. That was the Trump of the Republican free-for-alls back when there were, 6 or 7 guys on the stage, and he's leaning into the microphone and all. We hadn't really seen that. And so, I mean, I have to say he knows how to make a point. He knows how to throw his opponent off. But I'm hearing from an awful lot of folks, our people, our Eagles across the country, that the phrase I'm using is it was a jarring, return to the old Trump. So I think it was a kind of mixed outing. The media is making hay over the white supremacist comment. It's infuriating to me, but maybe we'll talk about that. But the president said twice during that question, he said, "Will you denounce?" He said, "Sure." And everybody's talking over him. But anyway, it was a brawl.
Well, I thought that, I thought Trump was, I always respect, I really and truly do respect someone who doesn't drink. But, Stevie, every now and then you need a drink. And he was just too uptight. And, and he just, so I thought he needs to ease up. And Joe was way better than anyone thought he would be in terms of being coherent. But he was, on substance, it's a nightmare. I mean, the guy, Ed, did I hear it when he said that the coronavirus has hit Black America harder, which it actually has, but that it was Trump's fault if he had done his job?
Yeah, no.
What are they trying to do? They're trying to divide us any way they can, and they're systemic racists. The Democrats have been performing it since 1828. They won't stop, and they're getting caught doing it, so they're turning the hose on Trump and the rest of us.
Yeah.
And it's just trying to divide the nation, and Ed all the while screaming, "You're dividing us. You're dividing us." I mean, it is bad news. And I'll tell you, if we fall for this, there's a consolation, Ed. If we fall for it, because it's right in front of us, there's no deception, then we're going to get what we deserve. You got to be smarter than this if you're going to survive. You have to have a little bit of a connection with reality, or you can't make it. And I think the vote's on how far off the rails are we, Ed. I don't see how you can vote for Biden. I can see how you wouldn't want to vote for Trump, but he's protecting us.
Well, Ed, I had a small business guy. I want to reiterate again. I talked to a small business guy, owns his own shop. He said, "I can't stand Trump, but I can't vote for Biden. They're too extreme." That's what he said in a nutshell.
Yeah. No, look, I mean, again, that was Trump. That was where Trump was at his best. The couple of times that he got Biden to not denounce the far left, the Green New Deal, some of the positions, that was where he was staking out, sort of a contrast. It was helpful. And so, again, look, two things. One, we should, and I did say this, I think I said it on your program, but that we shouldn't have been too surprised that a big league ball player can play ball for 90 minutes. Meaning, I used to say Stan Musial, the great Stan Musial, could hit major league pitching into his 60s because it was a habit, right? The greatest. If you're a senator for years and years and years, you get used to putting up a performance for a while. I think Biden did that. He had prepared, he worked on it, and so all credit, as you say, for showing up and not stumbling. But after that, the other point of this is debates don't really change minds. The debates. Here's the wrinkle. What changes minds is something that comes out of the debate that becomes the framing for the media coverage. And the president has such opposition in the media that, you don't get to choose. This is not, Reagan's comment on "I won't make your age an issue here," which just sucked the whole wind. They had to cover it. Or, something, Bill Clinton's performance in that debate I told you with Bob Dole, where he backed Bob Dole off of the question was, is Bob Dole too old? And Clinton said, no, he's not too old. It's his ideas that are too old. And it kind of pushed Dole aside. Now the media controls it and big tech controls it, and they're going to control what the message is. And so Trump's not going to get a chance. They're not going to cover, any of the sort of stumblings of Biden or how he looked or how he sounded. It's going to be all anti-Trump. It's a very daunting moment for me watching 5 weeks from now. There's an election, and the country is being persuaded by a consortium of the Democrats, the media, and big tech. It's a really uphill battle, I have to say.
Yeah, you're right, Ed, but they're not able to – they don't have a lot of material to work with. So I'm putting that on us. The American people should see right through it. We shouldn't be persuaded that easily. Yes, we have somewhat of an arrogant New York bully developer who's come up and said, look, you guys, all these people are lying to you. You're getting taken to the cleaners. China's taking to the cleaners. Europe's taking us to the cleaners. We got to stand up for ourselves. And everybody's like, finally, someone's saying that. Now, he's not a great politician or statesman for sure, but he's 100% right as what he's saying. And he's done exactly what he said, which is put America first. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that because we've been second for quite a while.
From last night,
the question Why would you answer that
because
question?
The question is
Justice, radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe? Who's on your list?
Right. Gentlemen, I think we've ended this.
He's going to pack the court. Not going to give a list.
We have ended this segment. We're going to move on to the second segment.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it? Keep yapping, man.
Told him to shut up, told him he's the worst president in the world, called him a liar. I mean, there are people calling, Ed, for Joe Biden to not distinguish this man and show up for debate number 2.
Well, I do think that's a distinct possibility. But let me say something that people don't realize in politics. In politics, one of the tricks is to get your opponent to say things that you and I aren't offended by "shut up, man." Although I make my kids, they're not allowed to say that word, that phrase, "shut up." I do find it pretty terrible. Can you hear me still, Stevie J?
Go ahead.
So my point on that one though is one of the tricks in politics and campaigns is to get your opponent down to say something that they don't want to. And when you have a guy saying the words "shut up, man," "clown," this isn't very presidential. People don't separate that from. They don't put it on Trump. They put it on the person saying it. So that was a mistake of Biden. It dragged him down into the muck where Trump wanted to be. So I think that was that was a big mistake. And I think if we had an honest media, they should cover that. There's a lot of little old ladies that don't want to see somebody say "shut up, man." Say a lot of people in general, but that's one observation. But the second one is I think you're exactly right. I think the talking points coming out today will be they'll have a list of things Trump said that were not factually true, and then they'll have a list of interruptions that Trump interrupted, the number of minutes he was talking over either Wallace or Biden, and then they'll say it's not worth the trouble to do this, and they'll dodge the debates. I think that's totally predictable now, and if I was them, I would work that out and at least consider that seriously.
What do you think the reaction, Johnny, if he didn't come to the next debate? What do you think would happen, Johnny?
I think it'll hurt them. I think nothing's moved much. It's a little jarring. That's a pretty good word, Ed, but I don't think it's that surprising. I will say one thing about the athletes that perform. Through the years, we've had some athletes who've done extremely well, and we find out there's been some enhancement before the games. And I tell you what, I'll tell you something now. The last time he looked like this was with Bernie. But remember, whatever it was, and maybe he was just pumped up, but maybe he was pumped up some other way because since then, he's had the hard time making it through the day or through an interview. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to be doing the next week or two after last night because, Trump was saying to Stevie, we need to have a drug test. Well, and it was kind of a half joke and a half serious, and I don't know. That didn't look like the Joe we've seen the last 2 months. I'll tell you that. So,
all right, let me get to a text. A text comes in. John says, given the opportunity to denounce white supremacy, he instead gives a shout-out to a hate group. Good luck November 3rd, LOL. Ed?
No, listen, this is the problem. This is the problem, and the coverage will be off now. Here's what happened. Will you denounce, he's saying, Chris Wallace is saying, which, by the way, the Fine People hoax is a hoax. It's been proven. And I wish Trump had said, wait a second. I said there were fine people on both sides. And a sentence and a half later, I said, and I don't mean white supremacists or neo-Nazis. They should be condemned completely. That's what happened. He should have said that. But then when Chris Wallace said, will you condemn white supremacists, he said Trump twice. Sure. And then Biden said to him, the Proud Boys, and I don't think anybody, by the way, thinks the Proud Boys are white supremacists. That's not fair to the Proud Boys. You can say what you want, and Trump said, I would just say, whatever it was, the phrase. Look, that hoax is outrageous. Again, the idea that this president is racist, the idea that the left pushes, you can see this online. If you go online, they say white supremacists are doing Portland. I mean, this is insane. There's no evidence of white supremacists burning Portland down. But here's the trick. Again, Stevie J, we're in 5 weeks from the election. They're using effective tools of campaigns, not knockout blows, death by 1,000 cuts. 2 weeks ago it was the Atlantic Monthly with the lie about the soldiers. 2 days ago it was the tax returns, which is distortion and unclear, and we don't even see the returns. A day ago it was Trump in the Atlantic Monthly supposedly said bad things about people in religious leadership. And last night it was the Fine People hoax. These are done to drive the edges of the coalition that Trump needs to win the turnout. And I got to say, again, with the media and big tech helping, it's darn effective. And if you think that it's not having an effect, you don't know how campaigns work. And your listeners should be saying, holy cow, we're about to have our republic stolen by a combination of big tech, big media, and the far left. And that's the most insane thing we've seen in this country in forever, to be honest. I mean, look, there was no conversation. We have one little conversation about the fact that Joe Biden and Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton's campaign staff used the government to engineer the Russia hoax. We didn't even talk about it. That was treason if it's all true, and it sure looks like it, and nobody talked about it. I mean, it's unbelievable.
No, and it doesn't matter. They won't talk about it, Ed. But let me tell you, a white supremacist says that all blacks think alike, or if you don't vote for me, you're not black. That's a white supremacist. The Democrats are the racists. They've been oppressing the black community in America for almost 200 years, and the modern approach is no charter schools, no vouchers, no police, no jobs. And they're screaming at the opposition that they're the racists because, believe me, a lot of the blacks think something's wrong. So they're the ones blaming someone. Maybe it is them. And they're using that to divide us, and they just go from there, Steve. And that seems to be what sticks. This white supremacist thing or racist thing seems to stick because it actually exists, but the people screaming, you're the racist, are the ones who are the racists. And the problem, Ed, is we're not saying that. We aren't standing up for ourselves like that and calling it like it is, because I've lived with it. I've seen it firsthand.
But Stevie J, let me make one real quick point about this one because I think it's important. Real quick, the people that are watching that debate, to be frank, are not normal Americans. You know, you and me and Johnny and others. You know, they'll have a big number, whatever, 8 million or 10 million. They're not normal people, and that accusation that white supremacists works for that crew. It affects you. Out in America, there's lots of African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and others that are actually saying to themselves, I really believe this. You see it in the polling, too. Trump's on my side. Trump's on my side fighting for me. You know, Telemundo had a survey right after the debate last night. Who won the debate? Trump was winning 60-40. Telemundo. I call it, Spanish speaking. Now, my point here is normal people are saying, okay, I've already built into my calculation he's obnoxious. Now, what is he doing for me? And I think one of the things the Biden campaign's missing is they're going to wake up the day after and say, what the heck happened? Because the white supremacy cry, as you say, that's not echoing for normal people, although it echoes for the class of people that watch this. So I think that's what the president has to do.
You're right, Ed. I think
keep doing the things on the issues that matter.
For it. Yeah.
Well,
we kind of get distracted by it. Ed's right on that, Steve. So that's good news, I think, because we don't need a Biden crowd running the country. I really, truly think that'll be pretty bad. So I'm hoping Trump
one more quick observation, Stevie J. The issue that was missing that I still think has saliency is immigration and building the wall. And I think the president was debating tax cuts, judges, and other things, and he sounded a little bit like a classic Republican. The populist Trump would have talked more about, hey, we're going to bring back our soldiers because you fought all those wars. We're going to build that wall. We're also going to cut down on – we're not going to have amnesty for illegal immigration. I think that's the messaging that wins again. Now, I said that last night to Dinesh D'Souza, and Dinesh's point was, well, I think the number one issue is law and order. Well, maybe he's right, but I think Trump's got some golden oldies that he didn't use at all. There was no mention of immigration at all. I think that's a big miss.
Some of that's Chris Wallace, though, isn't it, Ed? I mean, he's the one kind of picking the categories, and I think he did stay away from some of Trump's strengths. I don't know how unbiased Chris was, really.
Yeah, but yes, but remember the first question was about the Supreme Court, and Biden, who had prepared for this, he shifted that question to health care. It wasn't Amy Coney Barrett's extremist. It was she'll get rid of Obamacare, and then there was 10 minutes of Obamacare discussion. So, you don't answer the question you're asked. You answer the answer you want to give. And I think Trump could have said, you know what, we're going to get it. We're never going to have amnesty, Joe. What about amnesty? I think that would have been a powerful. You're going to give amnesty to 22 million people? Biden would have said it's only 11 million. And then you would have said, okay, 11 million. So he could have shifted it, and I don't think he did. And I do think someone said last night, first debates for incumbent presidents, they've been used to having everything go their way. When they say raise and lower the flag or bomb somebody or not, it all happens. But now suddenly they got to get in a debate where they don't have control the same way. It usually is an uneven performance. This was what someone observed to me. So maybe Trump will get stronger if there's another debate.
Okay, if there's another debate, should the president not interrupt as much, or should he do what he does?
I don't think you can try to. I don't think you can. No, I don't think you can. I don't think you can ask him to change his idea. I mean, maybe be a little more disciplined, but trying to do that is just not realistic. I think.
Somebody suggested just turn the microphones off in that 2 minutes of silence.
That's one idea.
No, I think I like the fact that it was a true debate. That was a real debate. We had two guys kind of arguing up there. I didn't mind that at all, actually. I don't like that disciplined kind of staged thing. So we got to see, hey, listen, we got a pretty good view of the guys. Those are pretty real. And I like that with Trump. He's just a brawler, but he's on our side and talking about America. And so that's why I think he won the first time. And I think that's why I'll win the second time. So,
all right, gentlemen, Ed, Johnny, I appreciate you always. Just really compelling stuff and great discussion. I appreciate it. How do people reach you, Ed Martin?
Our website for all our work with the Phyllis Schlafly Eagles is phyllisschlafly.com. But if you go to proamericareport.com, you can sign up for the daily email I send out. And, of course, I'm on Twitter at EagleEdMartin. So proamericareport.com at EagleEdMartin. And thanks for the time, guys. We'll talk
Always
next
a pleasure, Eddie. Johnny, thank you.
Good talking to you,
Thanks,
buddy.
Johnny. Appreciate it. That's Brother Johnny, New Orleans, Ed out in Virginia today.
And another comment, Biden did better than I thought he would. Overall, it was a complete debacle. Trump, absolutely no respect for the moderator and the rules of the debate. Once again, we have a couple of bad choices. But with that being said, I don't feel like Biden would stick up for us on anything. And I thought that might be a deciding factor.
Well, he's got to be careful of how many times he says, I don't believe in the Green New Deal. That's a thing Kamala Harris sponsored. That's his vice president. So there's that. And then what about immigration and, amnesty and things like that? Need to know. What about the judges? Are you packing the Supreme Court? He's just not. He can't say yes because that'll totally switch a few votes, whatever's left that's undecided. Well, if you're looking for an appliance, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World standing by. They can make things easy. Is today Steve Suderman Day?
Yes, I'm going for that.
Talk electronics here. You can even make things easy and do everything online. Appliance-world.com. Sign up for exclusive offers. Get the latest local deals. Chat with an associate. Shop online. Shop the showroom from your phone. Family owned and have been in business since 1977, so over 40 years of appliance experience. All they do is appliances. They do it better than anybody else. Dick Van Dyke is the largest independent appliance dealer in Central Illinois in Champaign, Bloomington, Springfield, and Decatur. They offer discount pricing on quality products from Maytag, Electrolux, Bosch, Frigidaire, GE, Whirlpool, and more. Not only low prices, but also the best selections of appliances in all of Central Illinois. They specialize in appliance service, including delivery, installation, and repair. And, of course, you cannot beat their free 10-year protection plan.
Wow!
Check out their Champaign location south of I-74 on Neal Street or online, appliance-world.com, appliance-world.com. It's our friend Steve Suderman. He's at Good Vibes, locally owned and operated. You can get a home theater going, some great sound. These guys have been around almost 50 years. How are you, my friend?
Well, I'm doing good. Our company is in the same buying group with Dick Van Dyke and hundreds and hundreds of other dealers that sell appliances and televisions and the like, electronics. That really helps us be competitive with pricing and being a profitable company, which is important. You got to be here next year, or you can't help those customers. So that was, I really like those guys. I try to support them too whenever I can.
Super.
Last night, I was in the home of a staunch, true believer. I was hooking up her new cable box that Comcast said she had to have because something was outdated in what she had. But they didn't come hook it up for her. They just handed it to her. And after I was on the phone, maybe most of an hour to some friend of hers that was trying to help her hook it up, and he wasn't getting anywhere. And so I went out there. And it took me a little while. There were some things that weren't quite right about the way things were set up. And I got it going, and I said, so now to make this voice remote work, just push this button and say, tune in CNN. And I knew what it was going to. I did it on purpose. Her eyes got big, and she said, not in my house. That was before that hot mess I said.
Boy.
I swallowed 2 shots of rum before the night ended, straight up, just to calm down. Good grief!
Would you shut up, man? Keep yapping, man.
Yeah.
Would you shut up, man?
Yeah. By the way,
I should have played the music. Just turn up the clips and let it calm me down. That's.
Our friend John Decker said the over-under on By the Way by Joe Biden was 7, and I heard a bunch of them, but I didn't count. So I have to ask John tomorrow.
Exactly.
How many By the Way that Joe Biden uttered last night. All right, do you still have any...
here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I've never heard in a presidential debate, will you shut up, man?
Right.
That was a new one. And you're a racist, and you're the worst president in history.
Be addressed as a clown.
A clown.
Yeah, clown.
I heard that, too.
Yeah, okay, so what about that 75-incher anymore?
There are 2 left.
All right.
So,
75-inch LG smart television, 75-inch for like $800.
$749.99, and I want the 99 cents.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's all you make on it. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's getting pretty close.
Unreal.
There's a clip sale coming, and these guys don't do this much, but this year is so whack. It's going to start, I think, on the 12th. I don't usually announce things way ahead of time because it shuts down sales, but it's one of those where they're going to knock a big chunk off their super premium product, not the Best Buy product, but the stuff that we sell, because the brands are the same, but the products that they sell down the big boxes, it's not the same product. So I want to tell people about that, and come see our outdoor display. We've got all kinds of great stuff for outside. There's still going to be some time to rake some leaves and be in the yard and enjoy the outdoors, but while the colors are getting good in the trees, and we can make the outside more pleasant.
You the man, my friend. How do people find Good Vibes, locally owned and operated? You have to buy your stuff from them.
We are at 2010 Round Barn Road. Our website is gvibes.com. I got to write up the October deals because it's pretty close. And you can call me up at 351-0909.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Stevie.
It's Steve Suderman at Good Vibes. Your news is next. Rachel Sutherland, Fox News reporter, and Griff Jenkins, Fox News Television, up next hour. On the radio this Wednesday, it is the last day of September. Whatever you're supposed to do in the last day, get that done, because it is the last day of September.
Some comments about the fumbling for Biden, some about the moderator, Wallace, and the topic shifts after the subject was given. It was interesting.
Well, keeping them on track to what you want to talk about, when you can bring up whatever you want, just like Biden did with health care, when they're supposed to be talking about Supreme Court, 10 minutes was about health care. So tough, and these guys, again, Joe Biden has been around 47 years. He knows how to stand up there and do this stuff. And it was, I don't think anybody thought it was very enlightening. And I don't think it changed one vote. I just think that's kind of where we are right now. They say 9% aren't decided. I just don't believe that. I think 100% are decided. All right, news next. We'll be right back.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to your financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Mike Kessel. A job loss, change in health, or loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office today at 217-352-0117 for a face-to-face appointment. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Still have some back-to-school shopping to do this year? Well, look no further than the official fan store of the Fighting Illini Game Day Spirit. They have something for everyone on your shopping list, from toddlers to adults. New styles are arriving daily with hot new items from brands like Nike, Champion, and more. There's no better place to get geared up to show your love for the University of Illinois than the official fan store of the Fighting Illini Game Day Spirit. Visit them on the corner of Neal and Kirby in Champaign, 6th and Green in Campus Town, or shop online 24/7 at GameDaySpirit.com.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
How did the first debate go over? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I don't think either of them won. This is terrible all around.
It was crazy. I don't think either one of them respected the other one.
And there was a lot of that reaction online, too, after President Trump and Joe Biden went at it.
He will destroy this country.
Everything he's saying so far is simply a lie.
And they argued and they talked over each other.
Make sure.
Graduated last in your class, not first in your class.
God, I want to make
Mr.
sure.
President, can you let him finish, sir?
No, he doesn't know how to do that. He has,
You'd be surprised.
You pick
You'd be surprised.
the wrong guy, the wrong night at the wrong time.
And at one point, a frustrated Biden told the president to shut up as they sparred over the coronavirus, Obamacare, the Supreme Court, and the election itself.
President Trump continued to maintain without citing evidence that the upcoming election, which will involve a significant percentage of mail-in balloting, will lead to massive fraud.
As far as the ballots are concerned, it's a disaster.
Former Vice President Joe Biden took issue with that claim, relying on the word of some of the president's own advisors.
His own Homeland Security Director, and as well as the FBI Director, says there is no evidence at all that mail-in ballots are a source of being manipulated and cheating.
Republicans are planning to wage a massive post-election day legal battle to challenge ballots that are missing signatures or an outer envelope or that arrive with no postmark. In Washington, John Decker, Fox News.
Now, the next Trump-Biden debate will be October 15th. Their running mates will be in a vice presidential debate a week from today. Former FBI Director James Comey will go to the Senate in an hour for a hearing. Republicans want to question Comey on the origins of the investigation into alleged Trump campaign Russia collusion. In Texas, Shelley Luther, the Dallas hair salon owner, briefly jailed for defying corona lockdown orders by reopening, is a step closer to being a state senator. Luther finished second in a special election for a vacant seat and will face another Republican in a runoff. America's listening to Fox News.
The big media are afraid of David Horowitz's new book, Blitz. But Donald Trump Jr. says bypass them and get Blitz, now a runaway New York Times bestseller. Mike Huckabee, Mark Levin, and Rudy Giuliani all say you should get it. Blitz says Trump has a big surprise coming soon. Get Blitz at bookstores or check out the free offer for Blitz and save $28. Just call 800-NEWSMAX, 800-NEWSMAX, or go to blitz411.com, blitz411.com. Get Blitz today.
Attention SSI and other federal benefit recipients. If you did not file a tax return last year and have children under 17, you must act now to get the $500 economic impact payment per child this year. You must provide the IRS your child's information by September 30th. Go to irs.gov and use the non-filer tool by September 30th. That's irs.gov. This message produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
This hour at the Senate, Amy Coney Barrett will show up again. The Supreme Court nominee will have more meet and greets with senators.
Senators Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer say the president's nomination of Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court is an illegitimate power grab.
The Senate has never confirmed a nominee to the Supreme Court this close to a presidential election. In fact, the election is already underway.
Schumer said she'll overturn the Affordable Care Act, taking health care away from millions. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said Democrats wrongly accuse every justice nominated by a Republican of being the kind of justice who will harm Americans.
Well, here we go again. Here we go again.
Senators Warren and Schumer are among a handful of Democrats who've said they will not meet with Barrett ahead of a confirmation hearing. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
3 days before major fee increases for citizenship and other immigration benefits would take effect, a federal judge has halted those, claiming that the last two heads of Homeland Security were likely appointed illegally. On Wall Street, stock futures are down, but not by as much as they had been earlier. A Grammy-winning star of the 1970s has died.
Helen Reddy's children say the Australian-born singer and actress died yesterday in Los Angeles, saying her voice will live on forever. That was the song that launched a decade-long string of top 40 hits like Angie Baby, Ain't No Way to Treat a Lady, and more, with 3 going to number 1. She also appeared in the movie Airport 1975. Reddy won the Best Female Pop Vocal Grammy in 1973 for her hit I Am Woman, and later retired from performing in 1990.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Helen Reddy was 78 years old. So was Mac Davis. He was a singer and also a songwriter for Kenny Rogers and Elvis, and he died at the age of 78. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
ESPN 93.5. Here is your 3-day weather forecast from the National Weather Service.
Cloudy skies early. The winds will pick up gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. So if you're around overpass or a semi or something like that driving today, make sure you're making adjustments because sometimes they'll swing out in your lane. 44 our low tonight with clear conditions. We've got a high of 61 tomorrow as we bring in October, down to 38 in the evening. 58 to 38 the temperature range on Friday with partly cloudy conditions. We do have some rain over the weekend and a high around 60 expected if you're looking at that right now. The temperature is currently at 53 on ESPN 93.5.
Yeah, Joe Biden's off on a train tour through Ohio and western Pennsylvania.
I love that idea. I like the train.
Donald Trump said the reason you do that is nobody comes to your stuff.
I know.
There was like 3 people.
So many insults. I mean, there's a bunch of kindergartners and so much arguing and interrupting.
And then he said, don't use the word smart with me. Didn't you finish last in your class?
I know.
But if you want to look at I thought the harshest came from Joe Biden. A fool, a clown, a liar, shut up, worst president in the history of the country. He blew it, this clown.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the president of the United States.
Right.
He said, this isn't, dignified. This isn't presidential. Well, who's helping it not be presidential?
You're right. Comments on Facebook talking about we really got a dose of their stamina and personality traits.
Well, you knew Trump. The thing is that, Trump says stuff you're not supposed to say. Like, you guys are ripping us off. I mean, you don't do that. You don't give the secrets. You don't say China and India and everybody's taking advantage of America, and I'm going to change that. You just don't go there. You're supposed to smile, wave to the camera, and do the thing that they do in politics, and that's play the game. Trump came along and said the game is broken, and here's why. They're the swamp. You don't go into the swamp and call the gators stupid. They tend to eat you, and thus they've been trying to eat them since Hillary wrestled up the collusion thing and got everybody off her emails. And there's so much there, but there's nobody going to cover that. And what happened to our media is really disappointing. Very difficult to know what's true. And the fact checks I looked at last night, did Donald Trump call the military losers? Well, according to sources, he did. Well, wait a minute. What sources? Anonymous sources. Oh, okay. That's credible. Did Donald Trump only pay $750? According to the New York Times, it's true. Wait a minute. The New York Times works for Joe Biden.
Right.
It's just, you just can't cite media. Any media. You have to cite facts, and then you're going to have scientists disagree. You remember when Dr. Fauci said, don't wear masks? Don't wear masks. It's not going to help you. Oh, now it saves lives? What happened in 3 months? We learned some information?
That's right.
And so Trump brings these things out, and then all Biden does, I said he'd laugh a lot. That's what they do. He's just a liar. A liar. Liar.
I was looking at that, too, with your comments about that coming our way. There's some comments about white supremacy and that topic coming up on a text here that's a little longer. You would think a simple, of course I denounce white supremacy and all forms of racism, especially for our president. Is it possible to play the tape on how he was asked about all of that? So,
he was asked. He said, "Do you
is it denounce?
Denounce?" He says, "Yes,
supremacy?
yes."
Okay.
And then they said, "Proud Boys." He said, "I'm telling the Proud Boys to stand down for now. Stand by." He didn't denounce it. Well, what about Joe Biden calling Antifa a theory? All of those people in black with the black backpacks are not a theory. They beat the crap out of that reporter out in Berkeley.
Right.
That's not a theory. I mean, they just deny it. I mean, did Hunter Biden receive all kinds of money because his father was vice president? It sure looks like all the facts point to that. It's a lie. It's not true. It's been discounted. Says who? Your Democratic Party? Your friends? Listen, there's just... I need to know a few facts here. Are you going to make this an extremist party? Are you taking away my border? Are you taking away my prisons? Are you taking away my police? He'll never say yes, because if he says, of course I won't, that'll lose the far left. Mm-hmm. Far left want to change this country. They want to burn it down. Black Lives Matters, a faction of them, want to burn down the country. I disagree with that.
Another texter. Come on, Stevie, you're smarter than that. Anonymous sources have been part of the media coverage since day one.
Yeah, but you can't just put the claims that you're putting out there without citing who. Anybody could do that. And if 12 media outlets runs with an anonymous source every single time, is that fair? I mean, let's talk to our friend Rachel Sutherland, Fox News Radio. Wow, was that entertaining last night? I'm not sure I got anything out of it except a headache.
Steve J, I woke up to this dream of like men yelling, and I was like, "Oh, wait, that was last night." Yeah, I'm not sure anyone got anything really substantive out of this debate. I don't know if it was the format. Look, there were 2 minutes. It was supposed to be uninterrupted responses to questions, and then after that left plenty of time for a free-for-all. So I don't know if the Commission on the Presidential Debates will change up the format for the next debate, which is October 15th, I believe, with C-SPAN's Steve Scully. Now, they're used to peace and quiet over there, so I'm not exactly sure how all that's going to
I'd like to say, that's a guy that, is this a Steve guy that C-SPAN says, yeah, he's crazy, he's nuts, and Steve goes, thank you. Next caller.
Exactly. I love watching their call-in thing or listening to it on the radio.
Biden is senile. Thank you. Let's go to the next caller. Tom?
Right?
I mean, well, how's he going to manage that? I mean, it's almost like you needed to jump in and dive on somebody's, back.
Oh, that might be great.
Yeah, you think back to the 2016 debates, and then candidate Trump did interrupt Hillary Clinton, not to that degree. And Chris Wallace at the time said, I'm not a potted plant here. I'd like to get a word in edgewise. I'm going to ask him if I see him, did you feel like being a Venus flytrap? Just to be able to, get these guys, to focus. Like, look at my eyes, I think that Biden was most effective when he was speaking directly to the camera. And President Trump had a lot of good points to make. The trouble is that he could have given more rope to Biden to hang himself. Mm-hmm. Instead, Biden came off kind of cool as a cucumber and able to handle I don't know who could have handled that kind of stuff. It got nasty at points, and when Biden told President Trump, what is it, shut up, man, and now his campaign is selling T-shirts with that phrase on it, shut up, man.
I mean, again, is that, Biden said this isn't presidential. Is telling the President of the United States to shut up presidential?
No, I mean, I think on either side. I mean, on both sides, there were moments that were definitely, I don't think there was a presidential, I'm trying to think of a presidential moment during the debate.
Well, if there was a moment, I've done more in 47 months than you've done in 47 years. That's quick.
Yeah, that was a good line.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's 5 seconds. It's a sound bite. He said it on the rallies, on the campaign rallies. I've heard that before. It is, the bottom line is this, Rachel. As our friend Ed Martin last hour said, not very many people are engaged in this, and the ones that are different. We're just all different, and that most of America isn't going to go there, and they watch a little of it. I'm sure the ratings were high for a while, but it was really hard to endure 94 minutes.
I did.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. But we're in it.
What did you get out of it, except is this what America is right now?
It is. I think it is a reflection of where we stand right now. I think that that's a good point. I think that there was a moment that the Trump campaign can use when Joe Biden was getting some daylight between himself and progressives with the Green New Deal, saying he doesn't support the Green New Deal. He supports a Biden environmental plan. So Biden had the monumental task of appealing to progressives, to moderates, and also to excuse my dog.
I love
and
that.
And also to those who are undecided. And so that was almost an impossible job. And at that moment, he risked alienating the progressives. And so, maybe President Trump or the Trump campaign could use that. It was more of those moments that the president would have wanted to get, I think, out of Biden.
I'd guess terrier size is my guess.
No, they're pugs.
Pugs. Okay.
Pugs.
Yeah, good. You have two.
I love them. They're my fiancés. They're Teddy and Rupert.
Okay. Pugs are
with
awesome.
Small package, a lot of dogs.
How much do they weigh?
Teddy is a little overweight. He's a bit going on 30 pounds,
Yeah.
and Rupert is smaller. And he was run through the litter, and so his head is too small, and his tongue hangs out all the time. There's a picture on my Twitter, I think.
Good. We can't wait. Rachel, it's going to, as Joe Concha said last hour on Fox Television, October's going to be a long decade.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, let's buckle in.
Hey, we appreciate you.
Thanks.
Rachel Sutherland at Sutherland Fox, if you want to follow her on Twitter. Okay, Okay, let's jump to our morning sports at 8:15, Diane. 12:25, by the way, on US 105.9. That's the Cubs pregame. 12:25.
Yes.
1 o'clock first pitch. Miami and
Kyle
Chicago.
Hendricks on the mound for Chicago.
Yeah, he'll be good. But Sandy Alcantara, former Cardinal, that the Cardinals traded for Ozuna, is very, very good.
Okay.
The Miami Marlins have terrific pitching. We'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure the Cubs are going to win this thing, but it's only a best of three. It's short.
Right. You have to make it count on these wild card series. And that's exactly what the Chicago White Sox did yesterday, winning the first game. Lucas Giolito took a perfect game into the seventh. 4-1 was the final over the Oakland A's, and they've got a game at 2 for game 2. Jose Abreu had a nice homer, too. Again, White Sox won 4-1 yesterday on that American League wild card series. We just mentioned the Cubs on US 105.9 against Miami with a 1 o'clock start. It's a 4 o'clock start for the St. Louis Cardinals, so the drive has been preempted, but I'm sure with Derek Piper and Lonte both being Cardinal fans, they don't mind that at all, so they can watch the game.
You either have them watching the game while they're talking.
They're doing play-by-play.
Exactly. They might as well just put the game on.
I know they've done that before, especially when our Illini basketball team was in action way back when. Feels like years ago, but I think that was March Madness type stuff. I don't know. In any case, St. Louis and San Diego at 4 o'clock. Chris Paddock on the mound for the Padres and KK for the Cardinals.
KK has got the ball, and that's going to be Adam Wainwright, then Jack Flaherty. That's how the lineup looks for the next 3 days.
On the WNBA, it'll be Aces versus the Storm. NBA, Miami Heat and Lakers lining up for a game tonight. NFL trending stories, the Tennessee Titans with 3 players and 5 personnel testing positive for COVID-19 have, since they played the Minnesota Vikings, their facilities are shut down for Tennessee and Minnesota. The game is still in question. No official word yet on Tennessee Titans and Pittsburgh Steelers. For us, we're interested in the Chicago Bears hosting Indianapolis Colts. I don't know if you saw the coach Matt Nagy is going to start Nick Foles.
Yeah, a good call, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And your New Orleans Saints will face Detroit. What'd you think about that game on Monday night?
Saints aren't playing their best. Hopefully they'll get it going, but they played a very, very good Green Bay team. So.
Mm-hmm. And Green Bay's got the Monday night football game. Yeah. So in tennis, Novak Djokovic is back. You know, he's the one that hit the line judge in the neck. And so he's in action now with a fresh start at the French Open. And Serena is out not only for the French Open with the Achilles tendon injury, but no more tournaments this year. That pretty much sums it up in the sports world. I'm Diane Ducey.
In the perfect game, the hard nine, the gas house game, backflips, and Uncle Charlie, Clydesdales, scorecards, and hitting the cutoff man. 2 birds on one bat, hanging banners, and that next year is now. We believe in Cardinals Nation.
Central Bank believes in being the hometown bank of the Cardinals. Welcome to Cardinals Checking for those who believe. Sign up for free Cardinals Checking with Central Bank and get an exclusive Cardinals 11-time champions jersey and 2 game tickets. Find out more at cardinalschecking.com. Restrictions apply. One offer per household while supplies last. Member FDIC.
All right, let's check your ESPN 93.5 3-day weather from the National Weather Service.
All right, we've got a high of 63 today and cooler tonight as we get close to 40, and our temperature range between 60 and 39 tomorrow, and we're up to only 57 on Friday with partly cloudy conditions again, down to 37 in the evening. Can you believe we're in the 30s for our lows?
Yeah, it's October, fourth quarter starting.
That's right.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So the temperature's currently at 54 with the clouds on ESPN 93.5.
Well, as we observe National Cybersecurity Awareness Month in October, Busey empowers you to take an active role in protecting your privacy. 17.6 million Americans are victims of identity theft each year. Have you gotten your call about your Social Security being canceled? And you have to pay this fee over the phone now?
You automatically brace yourself like, oh no, did that happen?
Yeah. Janet got the call yesterday. I had one last week. And there are people that will pay the money, which is dastardly. Anyway, again, 17.6 million Americans victims. 2/3 of identity theft victims report a direct financial loss as a result. Busey wants you to know there are dangers. What do you face? Well, social engineering. Thieves will email, call, or text. It's called phishing with a PH. Vishing is the call, V-I-S-H, or smishing. That's text. Didn't even know that. Huh? Phishing, vishing, and smishing.
Okay.
Your computer, smartphone, tablets can be hacked. Data breach is when an organization has their information stolen, which includes your card number. All right, how do you protect? Password protect your devices. Never log into financial accounts or shop online. Use the public Wi-Fi. Somebody at Panera Bread sitting over on the other side taking stuff. Review your credit report annually, bank accounts regularly. With antivirus software, you can help detect and protect against cyber criminals. With constant changes in technology, there are always new risks. Make sure you're on top of all this. Busey wants you to be informed. Go to Busey.com to get some information to stay informed. Busey.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Okay, it is 8:21. We're going to break for the Fox Business Minute, brought to you this morning by Eric Boland at Provident Financial Group in Champaign, where partnerships are built on trust. You can find Eric at Provident Financial Group, LLC.com. We'll be right back. Stand by.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
There's an update on the economy that confirms the U.S. slipped into recession in the spring. The gross domestic product declined 31.4% in the spring quarter. It's believed the economy was growing again in the summer. Payroll processing company ADP says the number of jobs created by private employers rose by 749,000 this month. The number is stronger than expected, though still indicates the job market is continuing to recover gradually. The ADP report indicates jobs were created in manufacturing, education, hospitality, and other areas. Shell Gasoline's parent company, Royal Dutch Shell, says it will cut between 7,000 and 9,000 jobs by the end of the year. Walt Disney is laying off 28,000 employees at theme parks in Florida and California. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network, download and listen to The Untold Story with Martha McCallum.
Air Force veteran Henry Red Irwin. He was part of a mission dropping bombs along the Japanese coast. His grandson, John, you say that when you first held his Medal of Honor, you felt a wave of guilt.
He let me hold the medal, and he said over my shoulder, freedom isn't free, and I didn't really know what that meant. I think so many in my generation, we don't take the time to appreciate that freedom isn't free.
Subscribe and listen now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com.
What kind of bedside manner would you like your doctor to have? At Roof Doctors, they make sure you feel good about what they can do for you. They make sure they answer all of your questions and feel comfortable about whatever procedure your roof needs. Roof Doctors has helped customers for over 30 years. Randy and Tammy have helped make lives better in our community with their generosity and kindness. Roof Doctors is a company you can trust if you need anything done on your roof. Roof Doctors in Urbana, they make you their #1 priority. Well, with the coronavirus, things have taken a different look, to be sure. Barb Bresner with Disability Resource Expo. Barb, how are you?
I'm just fine. Thank you. How are you doing?
We're not going to have one big event. We're going to do this every Thursday for 4 months. You got to explain how this is going to work, Barb.
I would love to. Yes, we are doing the third Thursday resource roundups. We'll be doing them in October, November, We'll skip December, and then we'll do them again January and February.
All right.
So we have to sign up ahead of time, right, in order to get that Zoom invitation?
That is correct. This is the first time we've ever done a virtual event like this, and so what you need to do is by this Friday, by the end of the day, you need to go to disabilityresourceexpo.org, and there's a link there to sign up for the event. They'll have an opportunity at that event to visit some virtual booths, and this first one is October. The event is actually October 15th, and there will be about 15 virtual booths that you can visit that day. It runs from 3 to 4:30 p.m., and these will be healthcare and equipment providers.
Okay, so each time there's a third Thursday that comes up for October, November, January, and February, you spotlight different topics to tap into, right, Barb?
That is correct, yes.
Okay,
yes.
Well, this is certainly unique, but boy, you've got so many good things to share. So if people really want to engage, you're going to get great information and know so much about what you have to offer.
Definitely. And, not only will they get to visit the virtual booth, but there will be some breakout sessions that will be live, kind of Zoom meeting rooms that they'll be able to go into, a couple of those, and for 15 minutes each, and they'd be able to ask questions of those providers that they choose. That's another thing with signing up ahead of time. You can choose the exhibitors that you want to visit with in person or live, and then we'll also end the session with a presentation from one of our healthcare equipment providers.
Well, best thing about it, Barb, I don't have to wear a mask. I love that.
That's true. You do not have to wear a mask for this.
It's a Zoom deal.
Unless you want to.
Yeah, right. Barb Bresner, how do people get more information about this?
Okay, they just need to go to disabilityresourceexpo.org, and you'll find all of the information about this session on October 15th and the coming ones, for November, January, and February.
Well, keep up your work thinking out of the box and trying to figure all this out, Barb. Good work.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having us on.
You betcha. Happy to help.
DisabilityResourceExpo.org.
All right, we might be getting a call from Griff Jenkins, who's live on the ground in Cleveland, Fox News Television. Our friend Griff Jenkins, stand by. It is 8:27.
The Atkins Group is bringing their outstanding home craftsmanship to the rental market. At cuhomerentals.com, you can see the beautiful, energy-efficient, and conveniently located houses that you'll want to call home. If you're looking for a home but not ready to buy, go to cuhomerentals.com. You won't believe your eyes. Say goodbye to property taxes when you rent a stunning home from the Atkins Group. You won't believe how easy it is to rent a quality house with covered patios, fireplaces, and stunning kitchens you have to see to believe. Our leasing agents are ready to help you at cuhomerentals.com.
Welcome to Moe's!
Miracles do happen. Original white meat chicken is back at Moe's. Yes, that original white meat chicken. The one you've been dreaming about. Call it a comeback. Call it the best thing to ever happen to a burrito, or a bowl, or a quesadilla. Just don't call it anything with your mouth full, because that's rude. Hurry into Moe's and get that original white meat chicken today. It's back.
2041 South Neal Street in Champaign.
You're building a legacy, and you're at a point where you're moving beyond your own financial goals. You're focused on your family's security, giving to a cause you're passionate about, or even starting a foundation. Entrust Busey Wealth Management to maximize your wealth's potential. We'll provide you with the highest level of personalized service with your goals and values at the forefront. Learn more at Busey.com. Member FDIC.
Our law enforcement official of the month from the Champaign County Sheriff's Department, Deputy Cody Floyd.
I've always had a passion for serving from when I was young, doing volunteer service when I was in high school, and then joined the Army shortly after that as well. My grandfather's a Korean War vet.
How do you describe what's happened to your profession?
It's unfortunate. I'll just say that. I heard Congressman Davis on your show saying that one bad congressman can make the rest look bad. It's the same thing in our profession, same thing in every other profession. There are bad cops out there, unfortunately, but there's a majority of good cops out there, good cops that care about the community, care about people, and want to do good for the community.
I'm glad you have body cams. Are you?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, a majority of us are good cops. The body cams prove that. So it's good to have a witness with you at all times to show that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and serving the community the right way.
Our law enforcement official of the month, Cody Floyd.
Amana AC units have been rated as the best and most efficient air conditioners in the world, and ABC Heating and Air is proud to carry their product line. As a certified Amana dealer since 1971, ABC raises the standards of comfort and reliability, making sure they keep your family healthy and comfortable all summer long. As you spend more time around the house this summer, don't let the sweltering heat get to you. Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400. Plus, join ABC's Service Club for just $198 a year. Get an AC check, furnace check, and exclusive discounts.
You've heard their name, but who are they? Area-Wide Technologies is a full-service business solutions provider. What does that mean? Area-Wide makes it their mission to provide the perfect custom solution designed to meet your business needs. They can help you operate your IT department with confidence and excellence. Let their certified security professionals show you where your network is vulnerable, including their support in helping you transition from Windows 7. Give them a call, 217-359-8041, or email them at info@areawidetech.com.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The first debate of the presidential campaign's done. In between interruptions and insults President Trump and Joe Biden say about dealing with the coronavirus pandemic.
He will shut it down again. He will destroy this country.
You can't fix the economy until you fix the COVID crisis.
The president says about white supremacist and right-wing militia groups.
Stand back and stand by, but I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left.
Joe Biden denies he wants to defund police departments.
I'm totally opposed to defunding the police officers. As a matter of fact, local police, the only one defunding in his budget calls for a $400 million cut in local law enforcement assistance. They need more assistance.
There are two more debates scheduled, October 15th and 22nd. Vice President Mike Pence and the Democrats' vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris debate a week from tonight. America's listening to Fox News.
Yeah, I think the Pence-Harris will be fascinating because Mike Pence won't do what Donald Trump does. It's a whole different persona.
Agreed.
And Kamala Harris is the number one most liberal leftist in the Senate, even more than Bernie Sanders, which is amazing based on her voting record. Kamala Harris is more liberal than Bernie, which Bernie's a socialist. So Mike Pence, I think, will be very, very good. I think Kamala Harris will be very good. But that'll be a whole different debate. I don't see much changing with the Trump-Biden. Will Joe Biden say, I'm not going to show up at the second debate? I do think it would hurt Joe Biden if he did that. But I would suggest Donald Trump back down just a couple of notches and write a couple of things down like you want to respond to.
Right.
Because he just does it immediately because he won't remember.
Well, there was a couple of points about that. Like Dorothy had said, I wish Trump wouldn't have interrupted so much so we could have seen how Joe Biden is.
I think Joe Biden's got 47 years of autopilot. I mean, he can do this. And that's why I said weeks ago, guy's going to be good. Mm-hmm. He's done it for so long, and he was practiced and on point as far as what he wanted to say. It's interesting. I remember a long time ago, the great Lou Henson was being interviewed, going to do a halftime interview at a sold-out football game years ago. And Jim Turpin said, Lou, do you know what they're going to ask you? And Lou said, no, but I know what I'm going to say.
Okay,
that's how you do it. That's how you do it. So,
Barbara had said, I think Trump stepped on stage furious at how he's treated. So I don't blame him a bit.
I can't imagine what he takes. But again, keep in mind the entire spectrum of this. Here's an outsider that everybody loved until they came down the escalator. He was the darling of Oprah and Hillary and everybody. Then he came down the escalator and started telling secrets. You're not supposed to do that. I've said many times, politics, Washington is very much like a country club. You're in, and you hope you belong. But it might be just because you're here doesn't mean you belong.
Right.
And Donald Trump does not belong because he has said things that you just don't say.
Right.
We all got a good gig. We're powerful. We're going to have millions of dollars by the end of our deal because of all kinds of wonderful things. People drive us around. We're on TV. People want to hear what we have to say. They chase us down the streets. Kind of a high. And Trump says they're just a bunch of phonies. What are you doing, son? We're in the swamp. You don't understand how the game works, son. And so you're not supposed to go in. And so people responded by saying, yeah, because what they forgot about, anything west of Washington is the outback,
Yeah.
You don't understand. You don't understand how this works. Sit down, let me explain it to you. If you want to get on any committees, you'll vote for this, okay? Otherwise, we'll primary you the next time. How's that feel?
More comments about, I wish Biden, I'm not sure he can string together a couple of minutes of rational speaking. I think there would be dead air.
Well, I mean, but when he says that's a lie, that's not true, that's a lie, that's not true, then you're going, well, is it? And then you get a fact check that references the New York Times. Does anybody think the New York Times doesn't have a dog in this race?
We need to fact check the fact checker.
You got to fact check the fact checkers. And I would suggest you don't cite any media. I would not cite any of them.
How do you do that?
And you got to go check the numbers at the CDC. You have to check.
Wow.
Well, you got to dig deep.
I guess.
I mean, Johnny's got a theory of doing a radio show, call it Fact Check Lotto, where you have to go in and you can't use any source on television, you can't use any media as a reference, and tell me if this phrase is true. And the first person that calls in with actually citing stats that we can verify gets $100. And that way you're looking it up yourself and you're saying, wait a minute, that's not what I've been told.
I see.
You get educated in how the whole thing kind of works. And the way it works is we got this line, you got that line, and we're going to stick with it. Well, what's true? Did Hunter Biden get incredible perks for being the son of the vice president?
Hunter Biden seemed to come up a lot yesterday.
Well, there's so many things. And what you do is if you don't, agree with that point of view, you don't cover it.
Well, and then it was, I know you are, but what am I? What about your family, Trump, and how they've benefited? And then the taxes come up. And then, it just spirals out of control on staying on topic.
2 days before the first debate in 2016, do you know the New York Times did the exact same thing? Does anybody remember that? 2 days before the Hillary Clinton-Donald Trump debate in 2016, they ran the tax story. And then, of course, the day after the tax story, Biden and Harris released their tax returns. You don't tell me that's coordinated? It's just ridiculous. This republic, this democracy won't work without a free press. I have to have journalists telling me the facts. Without it, I can't follow it that closely. But if you don't have a watchdog that's unbiased, this won't work. The country won't work without the free and factual reporting of my watchdog. I need my watchdog. Otherwise, I don't know what's true and what's not.
On the tax topic, I mean, if you're that powerful of a person and have that much property, you're going to have people that are going to be figuring out the tax code to get you some breaks.
You use the tax laws, everybody would.
Right.
So there's whatever deductions he did, it was legal. And, that's what he says. Another theory is I thought, with this age of we're going to Mars and we have supercomputers and machines that can figure things so quickly, why not have the presidential debates live, 5 minutes delayed? Run it through Big Blue, run it through all the fact checkers that can state, and then put a color on the top of the screen. Green is like he's got the facts, Middle blue would be some, and red would be flat out not true.
Right.
And just run the colors based on the supercomputers and AI, which we're so enamored with. And that way you would see on the top, and do it for newscasts. Do it for that. And have a little color that says editorial, facts, story, bias, not bias, good. You could run those colors on top and just delay everything 5 minutes, let it run through the supercomputers. Couldn't we do that?
I love that idea.
All right, I'll figure that out in my garage over the weekend. It'll be easy. All right, 8:39.
Are you tired of overpaying for steaks? How about looking for great steak deals? Well, look no further than the Long Branch in downtown Gifford. Let Donnie and his staff take care of you. Friday and Saturday nights, you get 3 different steak deals. Get 2 12-ounce New York strips for $45, or try 2 8-ounce fillets for $50, or combine the offers and get 1 fillet and 1 strip for $48. Also includes 2 salads, up to 4 sides. Any place else? Well, it just isn't the Long Branch. Wednesday through Saturday, 5 to 9.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with your kids' finances, insurance? Then let State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow in Champaign help you simplify and get to a better state. Because with Kurt handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time for everything else. More money, too. Because adding State Farm policies could mean earning discounts worth up to 40%. That's money Kurt can help you put toward a college savings plan. Call State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow today and get to a better state with State Farm. Discounts may vary state to state. Visit KurtLenschow.com today.
This is an important message for all current and former Boy Scouts.
The Boy Scouts of America has declared bankruptcy.
If you were sexually abused in scouting, you could receive compensation, but you must file a claim by November 16, 2020.
You may file a sexual abuse claim regardless of your current age or the year the sexual abuse occurred.
Visit officialbsaclaims.com or call 1-866-907-2721.
Paid for by the Boy Scouts of America.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
All right, let's jump to a morning sports, 8:41. Diane Ducey.
Well, KK on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals this afternoon at 4. We're feeling pretty good about that, right?
I think San Diego's fantastic.
And they're using Chris Paddock on the mound.
I don't know about Chris Paddock. I know that San Diego's hitters, that was a team that hit like 6 grand slams in a week.
I see.
No, they're vicious.
They've got the big bats.
No, again, I don't expect anything, but if you have, wow, that'd be amazing. Listen, the Cardinals making the playoffs is unbelievable because of the 11 doubleheaders, driving to your own game in your own car.
Yeah.
Weird things happen because of coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact they're in, I'm great. It's fantastic. Get to play postseason. Way to go. Don't expect much. Cubs are going to be favored to beat the Marlins. They play at 1 o'clock. Cardinals at 4. US 159, your home of the Cubs. ESPN 93.5, your home of the Cardinals.
Kyle Hendricks on the mound for Chicago's Cubs against Miami at 1 o'clock for that first pitch. Lucas Giolito took a perfect game into the 7th as the Chicago White Sox beat the Oakland A's 4-1 yesterday. Jose Abreu looked good and had a homer. And the wild card series continues in the American League for Game 2 at 2 for the Chicago White Sox and Oakland A's. Of course, all of these series are only 3 games. The NBA series begins tonight to find out who will be the champion, and Miami Heat and LA Lakers, both of those were not in playoff contention last year, which is kind of an unusual statistic. We also have the Tennessee Titans with 3 players and 5 personnel testing positive for COVID-19. They had played the Miami Vikings, so that's why their facilities and the Tennessee Titans facilities have shut down now. And the Pittsburgh Steelers game is no decision just yet on how they're going to handle that. Of course, for us locally, Chicago Bears will be at Soldier Field against the Indianapolis Colts, and New Orleans and Detroit will be in action. Always got to hit that for you, Stevie. That's essentially sports. I know tennis is trending with the French Open going on. Novak Djokovic wins, and Serena is out with an Achilles injury, not only out of the tournament, but all major tournaments this year.
John Decker just texted me. Fox News radio star.
Does he want to jump on?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
By my count, 14, by the way.
I see.
He said there were 11. Here's the deal. So good call, John Decker.
I know you talked about the drinking game that we can have.
If you had 14, by the way, shots, you're done. Are you even alive?
You could have enjoyed the debate a little better, though.
I guess.
When Johnny started the segment with Ed Martin an hour ago, it was like, maybe somebody should take a shot of something. Relax a little bit.
Trump looked uptight. Sometimes you need a drink. I know he doesn't drink. That's what Johnny said. My computer genius friend says, Stevie, you cannot use auto-computer fact-checking. Then we'll just argue about the coding of the machine and its bias, like we see on Facebook, Google, Twitter, etc. How would Biden address a computer? Could not say, come on, man, to a computer. Can you? Maybe, come on, computer. Okay. Then I said, can't I code it objectively based on CDC and known facts? It's all in there. How do you, I don't know anything about coding, but just do it. Just get it done.
Jeremy had chimed in on Facebook. I'm pretty sure the average voter couldn't give a flip about his taxes.
Listen, this is just what you wonder is how does this ever come together when you have such differing opinions that are swaying people? Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer were not progressives. They were Democrats. You thought they're a little far left, but not like this. The progressives want to stop what we're doing, end oil and gas as we know it, completely change the fabric of the way the nation is because we're racist and bad, and if you're white, you're a racist. By definition, you're white, you're racist. They want to burn it down, open the borders, no prisons, and no police. That's their stance. Now you're saying, well, Joe Biden will never do that. What, really? Look how far left he's had to go to appease the left that has to get him elected. If the progressives stay home, Joe Biden loses. So what they're doing is they're saying, listen, he's going to say stuff, wink, wink, we got this. That's the fear on the right, is to say, listen, can we trust him, Joe Biden, to hold the line when he says he doesn't believe in the Green New Deal that's projected to cost $100 trillion? You end everything as we know it. You revamp everything. Under whose model? What kind of constitution do we have then? Do you really want to break it all down, or have we done, again, this is an experiment in human history that we've never tried before. It's never been done before. It's never been successful. And we live in a pretty good civilization. But to have so many people from all over the world get to come here and be part of this opportunity to roll up your sleeves, to get knocked down, to get back up, to get knocked down, to get back up, to believe in liberty and freedom and a chance. The country owes nothing to anybody but the opportunity to live here. You do with it what you may. If you want to live in animosity, if you want to live in regret, if you want to live in unhappiness, if you want to live in blaming, live that way. You're free to do it. Mm-hmm. If you want to live a better life, then you can have a different attitude. You can have a different perspective. You have a you can do kind of a thing.
That's right. Roll up your sleeves and get to work.
And if you want to live a joyful existence, you have Jesus Christ and God. And that's where this country kind of started. And that's where we've drifted so far. And how's that been going for us? How has that been going for us? Not so good. 359-2255. You want to jump in? 847.
PDR Automotive in Urbana prides themselves in offering you the very best in service. In fact, they're one of the select TechNet certified professional shops. Certified shops like PDR make all the difference in vehicle maintenance because the TechNet community is made up entirely of local family-owned shops. So you know you're getting reliable and personalized care that only a local shop like PDR can provide. PDR is proud to be a TechNet professional shop that you can depend on time and time again. When you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481.
See the showroom top designer shop. Flooring Surface is your first stop.
We've all been stuck at home, looking at all the things we'd like to change about where we live. Well, Flooring Surfaces is here to help. The summer of savings starts now with discounted pricing on hundreds of the best floors around. Select in-stock hardwoods are cut by 50%. Double discounts on laminate floors and premium imported tiles start at just $125 per square foot. Flooring Surfaces stocks over 1 million square feet of flooring, so you will find a tile, hardwood, carpet, or waterproof vinyl floor that will freshen your space and save you money. We are a local business that's open to serve you in a clean and safe environment. Call 398-1990 to set up a personalized showroom experience or a safe in-home consultation. Then get ready to save with Flooring Surfaces.
See the showroom top designer shop. Flooring Surface is your first stop. Flooring Surfaces, your first stop.
With this year's flexible school schedule, why not come out at an off-peak time to enjoy your favorite homemade comfort foods for lunch? Grab a wagon that's been sanitized and have the kids help you select some fresh produce. Incorporate those ingredients in a freshly cooked, delicious meal that you created. For dessert, get a fresh baked pie from Curtis Orchard. For the menu and picking information, details about their country store, and everything Curtis Orchard has to offer, visit curtisorchard.com.
I want that apple pie.
Apple anything. Apple fritters, apple crisp donuts, apple slushies,
it is
cider.
Such a cool place. Curtis Orchard on Duncan in Champaign. Let's check weather.
We've got a high 70 today. Cloudy early and then partial clearing. High 70 and the winds 15 to 25 miles per hour. Gusts up to 40 miles per hour. 44 with mainly clear conditions into the evening. Up to 61 and down to 38. Partly cloudy tomorrow. We'll wrap up the week on Friday with a high 58, low 38, 61 Saturday, and 57 on Sunday with a chance for some showers. Right now the temperature's at 54 on ESPN 93.5.
Yeah, my computer genius friend said, unfortunately, human bias can come into how and what facts you will check, how you interpret stats, etc. And I wrote back, I do not accept that. Please get it done. Okay?
How much you going to give me is the next statement.
Well, if you come up with it, it'll be a lot. Can you imagine the fabric of watching all news if you had a guide at the top?
Wow.
I think there might be a way if you could just figure out who the people that could really identify and be fair-minded, and you have as just fair-minded people as you can find. I don't know.
Let's get Elon Musk on that. He's got all the money.
There you go. Okay. Well, he's biased. Okay. See, there's that.
Tatman's Towing, the most trusted towing and roadside service in downstate Illinois, is looking for a few outstanding people. You need a desire to provide customers quality service with integrity and honesty, a commitment to maintain a more than 45-year tradition of excellence, a clean driving record, and love to solve problems and work outdoors. If you want to join the Tatman's team, apply in person in Urbana at 810 East Perkins Road or online at tatmanstowing.com. tatmanstowing.com.
Tatman's Towing.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands, owner of Lands Inc. You never realize how much you rely on the plumbing in your home until something goes wrong. A small leak can end up with a big repair if it's not taken care of right away. At the first sign of trouble, visit landsinc.com. While there, learn more about plumbing, drain cleaning, and underground solutions. At Lands Inc., our commitment is to you, the customer. We look forward to having you be a part of the Lands family. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
This is Eric Bolin with Provident Financial Group. At Provident, our job is to help clients plan for and get through some of life's toughest challenges. Our mission is to provide each of our clients with individualized strategies, premier service, and independent thinking to help them achieve their financial goals. Contact us today at 3017 Village Office Place in Champaign or call 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
If you're looking for a car dealership that is 100% attentive to detail, look no further than Sarah Champagne. Sarah Champagne knows you have high expectations, but they enjoy the challenge of meeting and exceeding those standards each and every time. Sarah Honda, Sarah BMW, Sarah GMC, Sarah Buick, and Sarah Subaru in Savoy, or online, Sarah, S-E-R-R-A, Champagne.com. Okay, so I got this text and just kind of came in, and I think the author of this text probably doesn't want to be on right now. The Illinois Department of Public Health's move to remove the U of I's testing data out of our region's ratings yesterday has now put our entire region in jeopardy of mitigation. It was started yesterday that even though Champaign County is at a positivity rate of 1.2%, we will shut down.
It jumps up to 7 or something, doesn't it?
He says we will shut down inside dining in the entire region if mitigation occurs. Our Region 6 is now 7.4, approaching the 8 threshold. Several counties in our region are struggling.
Right.
But Champaign County's not.
That's because they administer so many tests and the percentages put us down to that 1.2.
Well, then
but if you factor in U of I and then you separate that from, the outlying communities in Champaign County.
Numbers go up, but at Champaign-Urbana, we ought to be able to keep restaurants open.
And there's 8 in the hospital now.
That's actually higher than normal.
Right. But that's part of the formula, I thought. It just seems like this is a moving target, and we keep changing the rules.
Well, we were only doing this to flatten the curve.
Right.
That was back in March.
Yes.
And then somewhere along the line, Governor Pritzker thought that we need a vaccine before we really stop. That may or may not come. And we are the only state in the entire region to not have any fall sports for high school.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's not impactful. Do you know how many kids escape their situation with athletics? They get scholarships.
Sure.
They go to college. They stay out of trouble. Anyway, yep, balance, my friends. That's kind of what we need. Okay, Arthur.
But Pritzker actually had some positive tests amongst some staffers, so they're kind of shutting down in Springfield, too, from what I understand.
The fact that equestrian travel is banned in Illinois, the fact that you can't do equestrian travel for competition that his daughter has done 6 states, and then he says you're attacking my family.
I see.
No, I'm attacking hypocrisy, sir. All right, we're back. We're done with therapy.
I'm glad, and what a challenging day with talking about the debate.
Yep, we'll be back tomorrow. Stand by. Thank you so much, Diane. Talk to you then.
Enjoy the day.
I am Stevie Jay. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate you very, very much. Have a great Wednesday.
The kids are going back to school, and the laundry is piling up. And sanitizing is more important now than ever with the coronavirus. What washing machine has a large capacity, sanitize, and won't break my budget?
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World has just what you need.
Really?
You need a super reliable Maytag, large capacity top-load washer with agitator.
Wow, an agitator? But will it fill up with water?
Yes, deep fill option with sanitize to kill bacteria.
I like options. What about a front loader? Electrolux has a model with a top rating for stain removal.
That's right. Plus large capacity sanitize and a fast 15-minute wash cycle for those last-minute emergencies. The Maytag top loader and the Electrolux front loader are on sale and in stock now. Both include our free 10-year protection plan at Dick Van Dyke. But just like summer's almost over, so is this Labor Day laundry special. Call, click, or visit in person today. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
What if I told you that there have been over 500 men and women who have stayed at the emergency shelters since October of 2019? And while this number sounds unbelievable, it's 100% true. Imagine your son, daughter, brother, sister, or best friend not having a place to stay at night. Matthew 25:40 tells us, "That which you did for the least of my brothers and sisters, you have done for me." And you, friend, have an opportunity to support this year-round initiative and ensure that our friends without an address have a place to go at night. Please visit seeyouathome.us, click the red donate button, and join the team today.
This year, business as usual has been anything but. At Busey Bank, we know you still have financial goals. Our team is here to develop plans and help build strategies that work as hard as you do. With the right partner and investment strategies in place, you can take charge of the years ahead. Busey's wealth management experts are right beside you. Learn more at Busey.com. Member FDIC.
First Responder of the Month, brought to you by Engelbrecht Grills and Cookers, making award-winning grills for people all over the world. Go to grillsandcookers.com. Our First Responder of the Month is Andy Stewart, Urbana firefighter.
You know, I always had that public servant heart. I was raised that way. I grew up that way. I knew I wanted to do something in that servant's heart way. I had a best friend's father was in it, rode along with him, and just fell in love. Fell in love with the family aspect of the fire department, fell in love with the camaraderie, fell in love with coming together as a team and achieving, getting that job done, whatever it may be in the community.
But when the bell rings, you don't know what you're into.
That's true. A whole variety of stuff, hazmat, fire, EMS, and truly that's what makes the jobs important when the bell's not ringing, is training and being prepared for all of those scenarios.
First Responder of the Month, brought to you by Engelbrecht Grills and Cookers. Go to grillsandcookers.com.
William Hill Sportsbook is now in Illinois, making sports more interesting than ever.
Download the William Hill Grand Victoria app to get over 86 years of sports betting experience in the palm of your hand. Sign up today with America's #1 sportsbook and get a $300 risk-free bet. Use promo code LIVE300. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in Illinois. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Download the app today. William Hill Sportsbook. Let's make it interesting.
Flooring Surfaces is a local business that's open to serve the construction and housing industry. Over 1 million square feet of flooring options are in stock in Champaign, along with professional tools, adhesives, setting materials, and underlayments you need to build waterproof showers, tile kitchen backsplashes, and renovate entire floors of your home. Over 20 years of operation has made Flooring Surfaces your premier source for hardwood, carpet, laminate, porcelain tile, and everything else. Right now, we're starting the summer of savings with discounted pricing on hundreds of options. You'll find select in-stock hardwoods that are half off, double discounts on laminate floors, and tile that starts at $1.25 per square foot. So here's what to do. Call 398-1990 to arrange a showroom experience, a safe in-home consultation, or to have your order pulled and ready for pickup. We will help you find the right floor, and during the summer of savings, you'll find it for less. Don't worry, Flooring Surfaces has your floor covered.
Need to ship something? Go to My Office Plus LLC and ship anything from just one place. Send any USPS, UPS, FedEx, and DHL parcels across America or across the world. You can do it all. Copy, fax, email, scan, laminate. Need something notarized? No problem. Buy your office supplies or greeting cards. You can even have your own mailbox. My Office Plus LLC at 1808 South